so regional fundraising manager. And I work in communities to help support anyone who wants to like get involved with a charity. So whether they want to do fundraising, or maybe if they want to volunteer at something, at an event or something, that's something else that I would support people with. So that ranges from maybe people, like a team of people, or maybe an individual doing a challenge event like a London Marathon or a fire walk or a zip wire, to people who want to hold coffee mornings, or bake sales, you know, when all restrictions are allowed and all that. Tenovus is probably a really strange name, and it's like it doesn't relate to sort of cancer in any way, unless but we are called Tenovus Cancer Care. And it's really important because, like I say, Tenovus is just a bit detached and people don't understand Tenovus. This is what we get called quite often, which is just quite funny. But so we were formed in 1943 by 10 businessmen, and there was 10 of them. So there became 10 of us. So it's really simple, a little where the name came from. But it's funny that it trips people up. But so they started in 1943, and they were 10 businessmen in Cardiff, and they were really keen on supporting people in their community. So they would hold fundraising events to raise money for, I think the first fundraiser was to raise money for radios in the ward in a hospital in Cardiff Infirmary. So people could, you know, when they're recovering or they're in hospital, they had something rather than just their own thoughts. They could listen to the radio, and I think it was a Cardiff City match or something like that. That was the first thing they listened to. So, you know, and they raised all that money. I think it was like £1,200 in 1943 for these headsets, which is just incredible. And it's gone on from there. So they would help other people in the community who would need it. And it's always been community at the heart of what we do. And that still stands today, really. Like everything we've said about the mobile support unit, that is in communities. It's making sure that people can come to us in an accessible way, relatively stress-free, and have their support or their treatment, you know, in an environment that they feel comfortable in. We didn't start being a cancer charity, predominantly a cancer charity, until I say the 50s. It was after when I can't remember the exact date, maybe 53, 52, when cancer incidences reached over 100,000. So it was after the war. And then they thought, oh yeah, we need to put our focus onto supporting people with cancer. So all our fundraising events obviously stopped. All our so London Marathon was postponed. We were due to have like a gala ball. I think it was on the 30th of March, so that got postponed. Everything just stopped. All the fundraising. We were able to like apply for grants and things, because obviously we got 62 shops. They all closed. You know, they're probably one of the, you know, they're the face of the community. So people, you know, see the shops, they see our services through those, and they bring in a lot of income as well, and they support our services massively. So, you know, it was huge, the effects of it were. But then people in the community have these great ideas, and they fundraise virtually, and it was just brilliant, like some of the ideas people were coming up with. And we were able to hold a virtual an evening with Rob Brydon, so that was great, and that raised loads of money. And then so we've got fundraising groups, so they're like local in a community. So there's one in Pontypridd, there's one in Cardiff. They're all dotted around Wales, really. And they just come up with like these lovely ideas of crafting things and selling them, and or doing like a garden sale. So there was none of this. You weren't interacting with people so much, but you were still keeping the information about Tenovus Cancer Care out there, still raising money, and every penny counted, and it still always counts. Technology, you know, wasn't accessible in the way you know, like you say, you weren't used to using it in this sort of way. And a lot of our supporters are a generation where technology is changed so much that, you know, they're not used to it in the way that it's not. Or it's a bit scary. Oh, I'm going to go and speak to someone on Zoom. You know, it's weird, isn't it? So it was just such a big steep learning curve for us. But we would have been lost. You know, I think, yeah, it would have been so tough to not have all the tech and all the IT really to support the staff as well as the fundraisers. And yeah, so bar a couple of regional staff, so remote staff. So our services were dotted around Wales, in outreaches, and like my colleagues who in the fundraising team were North Wales, West Wales. So yeah, there was a part. We were all office based as such. Whether that was an office in a hospital or an office as a as a normal sort of office with like 60 other people or whatever. Yeah, so we would literally told to take your laptop or your desktop or whatever home. We've never gone back in. Apart from a few admins, we've stayed at home. So we've got a couple of marathons. So we've got places for London Marathon, Cardiff, Bath. I think we've got places in Dublin and Berlin as well. So there's always loads of different options and challenges like that going on. There's Firewalk is in March. So we've done one of those before, and that's quite eye-opening to see watching people do the Firewalk. It's they're brave. I didn't do it, but it looked really good. And then so we in the summer we've got like a comedy night coming up. Sorry, at the end of March. So that'll be really good. And it should be it'd be nice to have hopefully all back to some sort of a big nice event, and not in person. I think that'll be a big step for us if we get to do that. And then we'll have all sorts of different fundraising opportunities throughout the year. October, we always do Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So a campaign where we ask people to go pink, in their office or children in school or whatever, and do their own fundraising activity and help to raise awareness for the signs and symptoms of breast cancer. And then later on in the year, we'll have our probably the ones you saw this year, our Love Light concerts, where therefore to support get the choirs at a gig and some of the community together. So we did them this year. We didn't do them the year before, and we were able to have the choirs and restricted numbers. So, and they were more poignant than ever, really. And they're always beautiful concerts. And there's a moment of reflection with a candle. And yeah, because people were wearing masks and singing in masks, and we were all still socially distanced and everything, it just felt really special that we were able to be there together and have that moment and that whole evening. It felt lovely. And then World Cancer Day is on the 4th of February. So we always do something to help support that initiative and raise awareness for obviously our services and everything that we do to help cancer patients and bridge the gap. I think is the term for World Cancer Day this year, and I imagine it will be next year. And then St. David's Day as well, we'll probably do something for. So there's always loads going on and different ways. There's probably an auction coming up and a raffle coming up. It's all very varied. And then there's the things that our volunteer fundraisers will put on as well. So afternoon teas or coffee mornings, hopefully. Fish and chip night, one group was talking about the other day. So yeah, it really feels more positive, and the ideas, people are not feeling so restricted by their ideas, whereas last year they were like, I'm not going to do anything, which I understand and I totally respect, and I get that. But this year it seems a bit more exciting, which is nice.